Hey there. We're on the air. How are you? Welcome to Sound Off. I'm Aristides Duval, and next to me is Buddy Dark. He's fading into the background. Maybe we should do this.
How are you, everybody? My name is Buddy Dark. This is the producer of our new show, Mr. Aristides Duval. How's everybody?
How are you?
This is Sound Off.
Sound off, baby. Sound off. Sound off.
Now, can I explain what the show's going to be about?
Sure, buddy.
What we are is a new talk show.
A nude talk show?
A new talk show.
Nude.
Well, if you want to come on nude, that's up to you. We have a guest with us also. Maybe we could get his name later.
Well, I don't know. Yeah? Who, me? You?
Tell him, everybody, this man's name.
Oh, I wasn't ready to put him on the air just yet.
But just say his name.
Okay, C.J. Phillips.
We have C.J. Phillips with us. Maybe he'll come on the show for the future, talk about various topics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's explain what this is about. This is the producer of the show, Phil Aristides Duval. My name is Buddy Dark, and this is a new talk show. What the key is, if you want to come on and talk to us about anything, you could come on this show and talk about various topics. We will be talking about music, sports, current affairs, so forth and so on. And I'm going to do this really quick. This is Sound Off. This is the producer, Mr. Duval. My name is Buddy Dark. And I just want to thank New York City, Manhattan Neighborhood Network Studios for letting us take the time out to do it from their studios. I just want to say hello to the stations that will be carrying this show. Can I do that?
Certainly. Sound off.
First of all, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, thank you very much. We're coming to you coast to coast from New York City. If you're watching in New York City, I guess we're live. If you're watching everywhere else, we're on tape delay. Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Time Warner, RCN, Verizon, Fios, and going through the internet. I think it's mnn.org. I'm not sure.
mnn.org, yes.
Okay. You can check it out that way.
Check it out.
Brooklyn Community Access Television, BCAT Brooklyn.
BCAT.
Time Warner, Cablevision, RCN, Verizon, Fios, Brooklyn. Also streaming through the internet. I don't have the website yet. I want to say hello to Time Warner, New Jersey, Bergen, Hudson Counties, Comcast Cable, New Jersey, Telstar 2-3, SpaceNet 1-2 satellite in the USA, Satcom 5 satellite in Canada, U66 Talk Music Network, Virginia Beach Witches Talk during the day, music at night. AT&T Cable, Florida, Comcast Cable, Dallas, Texas, RCN Cable, Chicago, Cablevision, Las Vegas, Nevada, TV 21, Blackjack TV, Reno, Community Television through Comcast Cable, Nevada,
Wow.
Time Warner, California, Continental Cablevision, California,
Yeah.
RCN Cable, California, Comcast Cable, California,
Baby.
Sunshine Cable and Verizon Fios, Sunshine Cable and Verizon Fios going through Colorado Springs, TV9 Community Television, Comcast Cable, Colorado and Denver, RCN Denver, Colorado,
Wow.
and Houston Community Television, TV 18 Comcast Cable, Houston, Texas.
We
Hello.
were able to hook this up. My goodness, that's a demonstration of public access television. Use it or lose it. And wow. Sound off.
Okay, so what we're going to do is talk about various topics. In case you are deaf out there, maybe you could read what this is about while our producer tells us about the first topic. I think is a very important topic, is Occupy Wall Street. Tell
Hello?
everybody how important this is.
Come in.
That corporate
Come in.
America
Mic check.
is trying to destroy the middle class.
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Well, a bunch of us have been down there at Liberty Square, a.k.a. Zuccotti Park, attempting to, what happened? Okay, attempting to change the world, or at least change a small piece of it, First thing I have to say is, in just, within what, CJ, within 45 days, the expression, the 99% and the 1% became a worldwide accepted lingo, parlance for what is happening with the unbelievable, extraordinary change of balance between the haves and the have-nots. And basically 1% of the population worldwide, or even in the United States, is controlling most of the finances, whereas the 99%, the rest of us, are kind of at their mercy. So I have to say that Occupy Wall Street, people ask you, well, what is Occupy Wall Street accomplishing? The first thing it accomplished was explaining to people that there's a horrendous, abhorrent, ferocious, Grand Canyon chasm between the controlling 1% who have lots of money in the billions, well, from the millions to the billions, and most of the rest of the population that either has to work for a living or has no job at all. So this is in my way of looking at it, this is an amazing phenomenon, and really sort of follows in the steps of what happened in the Middle East. But here's the thing, Occupy Wall Street really almost out of nowhere came up with this concept and other concepts. And a tremendous amount of teaching has happened. And a lot of people have gotten turned on by the different ideas that have been espoused. The importance of this cannot be underestimated. I forgot to bring my New York Times copy of the New York Times. The person of the year is the protester, according to the New York Times Magazine. Time Magazine, I'm sorry. The Time Magazine person of the year is the protester. Not Ray Kelly, not King Bloomberg, not any dictators that we know, but the protester. Okay, so that is something that the media establishment has even allowed this to occur, that they've actually allowed the public to believe that such a thing is possible. Now, I have to say something. Public access television, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, let's say you hate Occupy Wall Street, or you're a Republican. I'm not a Republican, sorry. I might agree with a couple of things Republicans say, but really I'm not. I'm a liberal Democrat, personally. And not everybody who's in Occupy is a liberal Democrat. You've got other types of thinking going on as well. But if you don't like what I say, then turn the sound off. Or, that's why we call it sound off. You understand?
Right. If you disagree with what we're saying, you have 300 stations out there. Don't watch us. It's as simple as that.
Right. The other thing is, make your own television programming, and I will guarantee you that even if you disagree with me, you will agree with me on one point, that freedom of expression is what makes this country great. It's what makes television great. It's what makes thinking worth speaking about. Because if you can't explain what your ideas are, whether I agree with you or not, if you can't explain your ideas to the next person, then something is radically wrong. And here we go on to some serious topics. By the way, it's hard to put our friend CJ on TV here right now.
We'll come back next time as a guest.
Okay.
It's a very crowded studio.
Yeah, it's a tiny little studio
We'll
here.
talk more about Occupy Wall Street.
And if you're deaf out there, I put the CG up on black before, but I'm just going to overlay it just like that if you're deaf. All right. If you're deaf and you can't hear what this show's about, that's what we are about. All right.
So we're about sounding off. You can start your own show and sound off about anything you want.
And if you want to reach us, this is where to reach us.
Okay, you can email us at magicOrbit rockyplanet@hotmail.com or rockyplanet@aol.com or 212-WTV-GOON, Goon, or WTV for Mom, MOM. 201-224-0684, 201-969-0873, 201-969-0896, and 917-379-0634. Speak to Dr. Dark over here, or myself, Aristides Philip Duval. You can go to my Facebook page, or Google me, Aristides Duval, also known as Mr. Melody. Some of you know me as Mr. Sexy, but I'm really not Mr. Sexy. Mr. Sexy's a cartoon character. But as you can see, I'm really for real, right? Anyway, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild, Actors Equity. I believe in unions. Do I think all unions are perfect? Is the union between man and woman perfect? Is the union between man and man perfect? Is the union between man and woman perfect? Listen, only saints are perfect. There are very few saints. There may be saints walking the face of the earth today. There may be 300-year-old people that we don't know they're 300 years old. But who am I to deny the possibilities? Just because most people croak at 80 or 70 or whatever, nevertheless, a lot of people have been dying. People that we know, people in the entertainment industry. It's a shame. People have been passing, have been dropping like flies.
That's for sure. See, that's what happens. This is a very stressful industry. Everybody will tell you that from various networks. And the key is, I'm even trying to cope with stress, and I don't even know how to do it. And hopefully I won't join them in the morgue.
Move up a little. You look like you're 2 feet high.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm trying to do the directing with the switcher and working the audio board, the CG, and looking at my monitors and my record decks and the camera while the producer is telling you what's going to be going on. Anyway, we spoke about Occupy Wall Street. How about, what do you think about them downsizing the army right now?
Thank you. Well, you hear that, I mean, some people say that the armed forces of the United States are being downsized. I don't know if that's true. I think they're being moved around. I heard that a lot of armed forces are going to Israel now because people are wary of Iran. Now, I'm wary of Iran too. Frankly, Iran is a sovereign nation. You may not like them. You may not agree with them. You may be of a completely different persuasion, religiously or politically, as probably I am myself. But when you pick on another nation and they don't respond, that is very close to a miracle. So if you're going to pick on somebody, actually it's not right to pick on people. There are sanctions now. We are picking on Iran big time. Okay, we are trying to isolate them financially, materially, from what I understand. I mean, look, I'm not there. I haven't seen it myself. This is what you hear. But the fact is you don't want to start World War III. You know, you really don't want to start World War III unnecessarily. In fact, you don't want to start World War III at all. So there have to be diplomatic ways of dealing with people. Don't forget, most of the world, even if you may think that this kind of people, that kind of people, most people really want to live in peace. Most people want to be able to earn a living, raise their family, feed their children, and advance in life. It's when politicians and demagogues and ideologies start getting people hung up on who they are and where they're going, and then when people stop thinking for themselves and they get taken over by some other system, that things go down the drain. So we believe in freedom of speech. We believe in freedom of thought, freedom to agree or disagree. You're disappearing into the background completely there, Mr. Dark.
Well, I thought I would pull the curtain all the way since we're not using a chroma key with the blue background.
I know, but you see how you're disappearing?
Oh, I'll disappear? Okay. It's good to disappear off the face of the
You
earth
got
for
two
a
eyes.
while.
You got two eyes and a mouth. Well, pull it all the way then.
Maybe you have a future as a
Pull it all the
magician.
way.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got it.
Disappearing
There you
acts.
go.
We got it.
There you
we
go.
got it. That's cool.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
Well, I was just going to
Not
say,
much.
if you're just joining us, this is a new show. It's called Sound Off. It's a talk show. If you're seeing this ski mask and you think you're going to see music videos, it's not going to happen. Anyway, this is the producer, Philip Duval. My name is Buddy Dark. Welcome, America. Welcome, Canada. Welcome to our new show. I would like to thank New York City and Manhattan Neighborhood Network and this very, 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 very friendly station for letting us use our show to do at this studio. I think, does that make sense? To
Yeah.
use our show to do at this studio.
What's that? What about you?
Anyway, this is Sound Off. We're going coast to coast. And anyway, if you're watching in New York City, we're live. If you're watching everywhere else, we're going on tape delay. Once again, I'm going to give the stations for the final time. It's Manhattan Neighborhood Network. My very, very good friends. I want to thank these people very much for using these facilities, which goes through Time Warner, RCN, Verizon Files in New York City, MNN.org on the internet, Brooklyn Community Access Television, BCAT Television. There are no dogs here. Through Time Warner Cablevision and RCN Verizon Files in Brooklyn, Time Warner in New Jersey and Bergen and Hudson counties.
Did you say QPTV?
QPTV, we are not on yet. They are
You're kidding.
They are behind the times. They don't even stream on the internet.
Oh,
And I don't
come
mean
on.
to talk bad about any station,
No.
but Queens, get it together. Stop with the lottery. Get on the internet. Stop with the DV cam. Go DVD and mini DV. They are, out of all the boroughs, they're like last in line.
Really?
Do you know Brooklyn is ingesting in computer system? Do you know this station is putting it on computer servers?
Wow.
Do you know BronxNet is ingesting in the computer system? But
Queens has beautiful stories.
QPTV,
studios,
I have
too.
nothing against you. I
Right.
really don't. But you just got to get with the modern technology.
Oh, shout out to Anthony Spanos on QPTV.
Yes, our friend out there, Anthony Spanos, thank you. Anyway, Time Warner, New Jersey, Bergen, Hudson counties, Comcast Cable, New Jersey, Telstar 2 and 3, SpaceNet 1, 2 satellites in the United States, a Satcom 5 satellite in Canada, the U66 Talk Music Network. Virginia Beach.
U66?
That's Talk during the day, music at night.
Wow.
AT&T Cable, Florida, Comcast Cable, Dallas, Texas, RCN Cable, Chicago, Cablevision in Las Vegas, Nevada, TV 21, Blackjack TV, Reno, Community Television, Comcast Cable.
Wow.
In Nevada, like I said, Time Warner, California, Continental Cablevision, California on the West Coast, RCN Cable in California on the West Coast, Comcast Cable, California, West Coast, Sunshine Cable, TV 9, Verizon Files, Colorado Springs, Community Television, Comcast Cable, Denver, Colorado, RCN, Denver, Colorado, Houston, Community Television, TV 18, Comcast Cable, Houston, Texas. Thank you.
Wow.
And,
What a list. What about CJ?
And-
And our friend here,
What?
CJ
Our
Phillips.
friend is CJ here. I cannot move the camera. Maybe he could just pick himself up and.
You know what? We'll wait for another unveiling for the next show.
Can I say a little bit about
Because the
you?
robotic
Sure.
camera
Well,
is,
what can I say?
Why not?
going
Yeah.
with motion.
CJ has been homeless, and CJ has been also is disabled, and CJ also has been down at Occupy Wall Street many a day, many a night, and he has been picked up by the media all over the world talking about, what all this means to him and why is he basically in that status. And he will be back with us in a future episode of Sound Off. Nevertheless,
Now, if you do have a topic and you would like to come on this show, you are more than welcome. We're going to be talking about music, sports, current affairs. There are so many topics out there. I've been watching the news for the last 3 weeks. I can't believe what's happening. Let's see, Occupy Wall Street. The lockout in the NBA is over, thank God. Let's see.
what do you have to say about that?
No. How about the fact that
But they can't hear him,
He
though.
can hear. Yeah, he's coming
I
up.
think they could be able to hear me a little bit anyway.
Well, yeah, the audio board's moving. Go ahead,
But
sir.
how about how incredibly close we're coming to looking just like all the people we go to war with? How about all of a sudden now we can take people from detention and move them without any type of charges or court date?
Well, I think you're talking about the recently signed bill, the NDAA bill that allocates at least 629 billion to the American military, and included a phrase in this that 93 senators voted for, talking about that the United States Army could pursue and capture and hold for an indeterminate time any U.S. citizen on any charge that they thought was right, and not have to give an accounting of it. In other words, suspension of the writ of habeas corpus for American citizens and possible extradition of American citizens to other countries, or apprehension of American citizens in other countries without habeas corpus. In other words, a totally unconstitutional and treasonous bill.
Well, there goes your Bill of Rights.
And you can't take away the Bill of Rights.
No, and how
as a
about
United States citizen?
And how about
it's
this
a constitutional amendment?
Well, how about things like this have started for a while now? How about a guy named Mayor Bloomberg turns around, turncoats on his party, turns around and spits in the American public's face by saying, "Screw your vote. I'm going to go in and manipulate what you voted for." Term limits in New York City.
Yeah, it would
And then when it was
two
his
referendums.
term, then it was his time for term limit to be finished. Oh, let's extend it.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Giuliani was the best president this city, best mayor this city ever had.
Might have been the best president.
I disagree with that, but
Look what
nevertheless.
he did. He cleaned up the crime. When 9/11 happened, he got his hands dirty.
Yeah.
I respect that. He might have been unfaithful to Donna Hanover
Ah,
from Fox.
Just
but,
maybe.
But he was a great mayor.
well, I have to say, I think Giuliani was a horrendous mayor, but that's another whole story.
If you do have
But
an
we can,
opinion,
if you have an
if
opinion,
you have an opinion, this is where to email us, and this is where to call us.
right?
Do you see a flow here though that's been going on for years?
Well,
How about
this-
the fact that Halliburton gets a war contract with the Vice President of the United States, who sat on a high prominent position on their board? That's not a conflict of interest. It just seems our government doesn't care what they do, who sees it. They don't even try to hide things anymore.
Well, there is a conflict of interest with many corporations in the United States who are multinationals and act very patriotic. Oh, they do a lot of flag waving, but frankly, they don't care about the American worker. They don't care about the quality of life. They don't care about the quality of service that they give you, the quality of your products. And they also take tax money, or they have tax breaks. So why do these multinationals have no particular allegiance to the United States of America?
Listen,
Why are we kissing their backside?
In case there's anybody who doesn't know out there, they cut and ran on America a long time ago.
Thank you. I agree.
They took all
What
the
do you
jobs
think?
overseas after we built their factories, bought their products,
That's right.
paid dearly for it, by the way.
In this fertile
They were the first people to cut and
environment.
run.
Fertile environment. That's right. Look at the steel industry, Dr. Dark.
I'm listening to you.
The steel industry. See if you can follow this. If you go to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania today, you go to Allentown or Pittsburgh, and you see what's been left, for instance, in Bethlehem, 3 miles of forges, steel smelting plants, fabricating plants, huge cranes, all rusting. And all those union workers out of work. Why? Because the steel giants decided they didn't want the unions. So they exported the steel industry to Korea, Japan, Germany. Fine for those countries. But what about Americans? That was the beginning of the modern end times in the, the late 60s, early 70s, when all of this started happening. Then it accelerated with Saint Reagan. Oh, what a saint he was. Okay. If you don't agree, you could turn the sound off, or you could start your own television show.
Off.
But you know what? There's enough nut jobs out there, and most of them are Republican cons. They're conning us. Listen, I personally disagree. I do not think that Democrats and Republicans are the same. Yes, politicians can be bought off, they can be pressured. There's a lot of arm twisting that goes on. And as far as the NDAA bill, the National Defense Authorization Act, 93 senators, many of them Democrats who should have known better, voted for this, which is a very, very scary thing. Now, in our lamestream corporate media, where have you heard this discussed thoroughly? Has anybody bothered to explain the ramifications of this law? The Supreme Court has to invalidate this law, or this country is in big trouble. Just because Obama says he'll never use it and it's up to presidential directive doesn't mean it's correct. It's incorrect. It's immoral. Did anyone ever use that word anymore? It's wrong. It's unconstitutional. And it's actually, technically speaking, treasonous. Now, I heard about a soldier in training, a National Guard soldier, and they asked him, would you be willing to fire on American citizens?
Let me just interrupt for 1 second.
Okay.
I'm looking at my counter. I got 27 and change. That includes
Oh,
color
we're over.
bars.
Yeah.
We're up to 26 and change. It looks like the show is over already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Wow.
27 and change minus a minute color bars is we're up to 26 and change. And it's about time to almost wrap up. We got to
Run the titles, baby. Sound off. Catch us next time.
We got another minute or two.
Okay. Well, they asked this guy, this soldier, would you be willing to fire on American citizens? He said no. They took him aside and they said, we might court-martial you as an example to the rest. Now, what the heck does that mean? Think about it.
We're on 27.
We'll talk about the internet next week.
Okay,
next show.
See ya, folks.
Let's wind it up.
We love you.
Hello.
God bless you.
This is Sound Off. Hopefully we'll see you next time.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
It's Phil Duval. I'm Buddy Doc. We'll see you next time.
CJ Phillips.
Happy New
If
Year.
you do have a topic, please call us, email us, and come on the show and we'll talk about it.
Mic check, mic check.
And thanks for joining us on Sound Off. We'll see you next time.
Occupy, baby,
Coming to you
occupy.
Coast to coast, live from New York City.
Woo!
On
Whoa!
every other cable station around the country. Thanks.
Very nice.
Hot potato.
Very nice.
We don't get reaction to that.